getting triggered is the worst thing you can do when it comes to manifesting your dream life. And that is exactly why I'm going to teach you how to stop getting triggered and how to turn that being triggered energy into the energy that will transform your life. When you're done watching this video, you will know exactly how to use all of that energy that you think is bad energy, that you think is triggered energy, that you think is literally you having the worst day of your life energy. How you can turn that energy into the most powerful manifesting energy in your whole life. The world desperately wants you to be triggered because triggering you is a way to control you. But being triggered is not only something that happens when someone says something you don't agree with or someone's trying to hurt your feelings, whatever. Being triggered can also be people trying to manipulate you into feeling guilt, which is a very, very normal thing that happens in society, especially when you're a woman and especially if you're a neurodivergent woman. You're so likely to have been raised a people pleaser. What happens here is that the society we live in really wants us to be triggered about everything because being triggered means we stay stuck in a reality that is not going to be prosperous for us. The law of attraction states whatever it is we put our attention towards, that is what will become our reality. Where attention goes, energy flows. This is exactly why when a woman is always talking about how terribly men are treating her and how all men are terrible and men, saying that men are the worst evil beings in the whole world, talking about it all the time, especially bringing it up around her friends, having to talk to everyone around her about it, she will attract toxic, narcissistic men. Because whatever it is we put our attention towards is what our reality will be. And a lot of people in society know this either consciously or subconsciously, and that is why they try to pull us in the direction of reaction rather than thinking about what is actually the best move to do here to conserve my energy and to actually step into the realm of manifestation where I will be able to transform this negativity into something that can transform my life into everything that I've ever wanted. If you've ever had one of those days where you've woken up and you've been like hating yourself, everything's been falling down, you feel like it doesn't make sense and you want to go like punch a hole in the wall. It could be because someone said something to you. It could be because you're just feeling like that, aka hormones. It could be so many things. Whatever it might be, that triggeredness within you is here to test you. Test whether you're gonna let your life be defined by this moment right here, whether you're gonna lean into the moment of triggeredness or whether you're gonna float above and say, you know what? The way that I can actually stop being triggered is to invite the triggering in, be honest about the fact, oh, I can feel that I am triggered, and be honest about the fact that it is most likely you triggering yourself. Because whatever it is the universe is bringing towards you, the universe is bringing it so that you can cleanse it, so that you can literally heighten yourself to a new level of vibration. This is exactly when you're about to manifest the craziest things in your life, you're going to have a time where you're going to be triggered more. You're going to be at the edge of your seat. People are going to say things where you want to intervene. You're going to want to go out and show everyone how much you know when they're triggering you. But as I always say, arguing with stupid people that are trying to trigger you, telling them that you know a lot and wow, you triggered me, trying to argue with them, you're both going to look stupid from a distance. And this gives a great example of what the law of attraction is actually about. In the situation where you are feeling that sense of triggeredness, you're feeling like you want to react, the thing you want to do now is get angry. It's tell someone that they're wrong. It's try to reason with someone. It's trying to prove yourself. Whenever you feel that urge, that like, ooh, within yourself, write exactly what I'm about to tell you down right now, because this is what you're going to have to use to make sure that you use your triggered energy to actually become manifestation energy. So get out a piece of paper or your phone or whatever, something where every time you feel triggered, you can think about this piece of paper, or you can look at your screen saver and you will know this. Write down, I love it. Thank you so much. You can write that, or you can also write, What a blessing. And you might get a little triggered now, ironically, and say, what? Why would I ever need the sentences, thank you so much, I love it, for dealing with being triggered? I don't want to love it. They're obviously triggering me. But this is where the spirituality comes in, girls. And you gotta listen if you don't want to be triggered and if you actually want to manifest what you want. Because that's what being triggered is taking away from you. Next time you're feeling triggered, and I'm not expecting you to be perfect with this. It takes practice. Next time you're feeling like lying down and crying. Next time you're feeling like giving up. Next time someone might try to push your button. I need you to take a deep breath. Even if someone's looking at you and they think, oh my God, she's crazy. And you need to say in your own head or think about the piece of paper. Matter of fact, put that piece of paper in your purse. Write a bunch of pieces of papers and put them in your purse that say, thank you so much. I love it. Or I love it. Thank you so much. When you start saying, I love it. Thank you so much. Every single time you get triggered, you are letting yourself be the creator of your reality instead of a reaction. You are the cause of your reality, not the effect. You're essentially saying, I hold the power to determine whether this situation has power over me or not. And I determine that this is actually not something I'm gonna let dominate my life. When you say, thank you so much, I love this, you're essentially telling your nervous system, oh, I see that there's something here you want me to be all scared about. You want me to defend myself. You want me to literally go out here and prove that I'm all this and all that. But I don't need to do that. That's not serving me. And I already know that's not serving me. So thank you for giving me this feeling in my stomach, for letting me feel this reaction, because now I can react back, not to whatever someone's trying to trigger me with or whatever I'm being triggered by, but I'm reacting back to the reaction of my body and saying, hey, thank you so much. I love it. I love that you showed me this. This will significantly change your mind. You will have a different reality so quickly after starting to implement this. And it will not always be the easiest thing to implement because we are so used to letting our emotions dictate where we put our energy, especially if you grew up around people that are over exaggerators, that are people that want you to react to everything. If you grew up with a narcissistic parent, or you've had a narcissistic partner, or you had anyone around you who has been someone who is very reaction based, or who's always trying to make you react, or always trying to tell the story like it's crazy and get you to flinch. This is such an important technique for you to learn, especially if these people are people that are in your family and that you have to spend time around on the regular. If they don't want to protect your nervous system and they just want you to be just as reactionary as they were so that you can go down the exact same path as they did, which is what they're doing when they're trying to make you a reaction-based person. This is when you need to use this technique. Thank you. I love it. When you're saying thank you, I love it, you're not inviting in more. You're not saying to the universe, oh, I love having narcissistic people around me. I love when people are acting like this. No, that's not what you're saying. You're saying, thank you. I love it, to the fact that you can actually put yourself in your own mind and you can say, hey, I know this is something that most people will react to, that people want me to react to. I will react, but I will react to protect myself. And I am so grateful for having that opportunity to protect myself and to learn. To use this to learn to become the version of myself who will not be triggered, who will have their energy protected. Because being triggered in reality is actually just you letting your energy be open to being ciphered. And this is exactly why when you have very reaction-based parents or family members, you often end up being very reaction-based yourself. You probably also end up being a people pleaser because that's a way for them to make you give your energy to them. They react and react so that you react and react. So you're not holding yourself together. Your triggeredness is spilling everything. This is exactly why I always go back to saying you have to be very honest with yourself about the fact that you are the one who's letting yourself be triggered. Because as much as you might have grown up with parents that have made you have those reactions, maybe you've grown up to be the type of person who's always reacting to minor things. And every time something goes wrong or there's a little hiccup or you're not doing something perfectly, it's like you're imagining the world going down. It's like the slippery slope argument where it's like, oh my God, if this goes wrong, that goes wrong, and that goes wrong, and then we're all gonna die tomorrow. The reason why you have to understand that you're actually letting yourself getting triggered is because responsibility of the triggeredness is key to be able to turn the triggeredness into power. A lot of the times when it comes to us being triggered, the first step we take is that we try to find someone to blame. This is where I want to make it very clear. It's very different for you to analyze and be very clear about, okay, I know where these patterns stem from. I know that my mom and dad act like this, or my aunt or my uncle or whoever around me act like this. And that is most likely why I've developed these patterns. But the analyzation and saying it's this and this person's fault, it's society's fault, it's how the world works fault. Analyzing is good, but it will never make you someone who won't be triggered. Because as law of attraction states, where attention goes, energy flows. And if you're always focused on the fact that it's everyone else's fault, it's society's fault, it's your mom's fault, it's your ex-boyfriend's fault, it's everyone else's fault, and it's just because of this society and that society that, blah, blah, blah. You're literally creating a self-fulfilling prophecy, because whatever it is you're putting your energy towards, that is what will be your reality. When you're dealing with people that want to trigger you, you are the one who's letting yourself get triggered. Because in reality, we could take so many people's opinions every single day, people we meet for a split second, and we could let their stare, we could let the way that they walked, the way that they breathed, the way that they this and this and that, we could let that be a reason for us to be triggered. And you know, if you watch any of those movies where people have anger management problems, that some people actually do get triggered over the most minuscule thing. But the triggered energy is not productive. It is you trying to protect yourself in a way that's actually breaking you down. Because getting triggered is a way for you to keep yourself in the timeline that you are currently at. It is a coping mechanism. It is a way to make sure that nobody does something that is different than the tribe. That's exactly why your mom gets triggered when suddenly you're trying to wear something that she wouldn't approve of. Or why you get triggered when someone's telling you something that they think about you or someone else or something that you don't agree with. In some cases, it can work to make sure that the tribe is protected and we survive. But when it comes to you getting your dream life, the getting triggered is something that is most likely your subconscious is weaponizing it against you. Your subconscious is so focused on finding everything that's not working, everything that's going to make you freak out. Focus on that so that you do not stay on track, so that you do not focus on what could happen, but instead focus on how everyone is ruining your life, how that person said that, how that person did that. The being triggered keeps you from being on the path towards greatness. This is why you have to take responsibility for the fact that you are getting triggered and remind yourself, I am letting myself get triggered. Because that way, you're actually taking full responsibility for the growth that you need to do. And that is the only way, the thank you, I love it so much, only way that that is going to work. If you're getting triggered by the fact that I'm saying that you should probably say thank you, I love it so much, then you maybe have to sit back and swallow the camel that is that you are drawn to being reactive. You're drawn to being reactive because that is what you're used to. You're drawn to being reactive because that is what makes you get the results that you know you can predict. Getting triggered essentially is also you being very, very tight when it comes to understanding that not everyone around you needs to control your life. The fact that someone doesn't agree with you, the fact that someone's saying something that is absolutely horrible about you, does that have an impact on where you're trying to go? Not unless you let it. Think about it like this. When you go to bake a cake and you pull out all of the ingredients from the cupboard, will there be ingredients in there that you do not want in the cake? Yes, there will be some pepper. And are you going to cuss out the pepper for existing? Are you going to cuss out the pepper for being there? Are you going to call your mom and say how much the pepper triggered you? Because the pepper is not supposed to be in the cupboard. The pepper is literally the threat to your cake. Oh my God, I just hate the pepper so much, and the pepper this and the pepper that. No, that's stupid. That's not going to get you making the cake any quicker. It's literally going to make you stagnant. And then when you get back to the kitchen, maybe you're going to blame the pepper. You're going to be like, it's the pepper's fault. It's the pepper's fault. It's the pepper's fault. No, you were the one who kept getting triggered, letting yourself get triggered by the pepper instead of keeping on focusing on what you need to focus on. When you see the pepper, you're like, oh, I'll let you be. I'll let you exist. But imagine you're making this cake and you're in home ec. You're making this cake and you're cussing out the pepper in front of every single one of your classmates. You're saying, I hate the pepper. I hate the pepper. Peppers. Oh my God, why do I even have pepper? What will the bully boys probably do while you're out getting other ingredients or you're talking to the teacher about how much you hate the pepper? They'll go and take their own pepper and they will put it into your cake. Because you were not focused on baking the cake. You were focused on going to the teacher and cussing out the pepper and talking about how much you hate the pepper. You're putting so much energy into the pepper, aka where attention goes, energy flows. So people are like, oh, the pepper, she's saying she don't want pepper in her pie. Okay, I'm gonna put some pepper in her pie and see how she reacts to that. Whoop-de-doo, what do you have now? You have a cake with some pepper in it. Maybe it's even underbaked because you didn't keep your eye on baking the cake. You kept your eye on everyone else and everything else around you, how much you hated that pepper. That pepper could just, no. The pepper is not going to mess up your cake if you just kept your focus on what you want. A lot of the times why we let ourselves get triggered is because people are saying something that we do not want. People are doing something that we do not want in our lives. People are creating realities. They're creating ideas that we don't think should be a part of our life. What the mistake that we do make here is that we end up feeding into it more than retracting our energy. Our energy is very, very powerful. So when someone's bringing up something that you feel like would trigger you, and this is something that especially like family members might do, or like the toxic friend that you're trying to cut out, whatever, or the toxic coworker that may always try to bring you down or say something nasty. When people try to bring up nasty things and they are trying to get you to have a reaction, and understand that getting triggered and having a reaction isn't always, oh my God, I hate you so much, I'm gonna like punch a wall. It's not getting so triggered that you're literally up in the red area and you're like, meh. No, getting triggered can also be answering back. It can be escalating. It can be trying to prove yourself. It can be, I don't know. Wow, you really had to say that? In this instance, the best power is silence. Because not only will silence make people understand that you're not willing to react, but the silence will also give you the time to sit and say, thank you so much, I love it. Thank you so much, I love it. And then the more you say it, the more it's a trance. You go into a trance. And the more people will be like, ooh, this person is not someone you can trigger. And that's when they're going to try to trigger you even more. They're going to try to trigger you even more. You have to say, thank you so much, I love it. Or you have to remove yourself. But when people are trying to get you triggered, that's when you say, okay, thank you so much, I love it. And if they're trying to speak negatively about other people, they're trying to bring up something you don't want to talk about, you silence it. And it's going to feel so uncomfortable. Actually, the silences might trigger you even more. It's going to make you feel like, what? But this is the power that you're going to need to step into to make sure that you save your energy so that you can use this energy on what you're supposed to do, aka baking the cake, aka creating your dream life, aka focusing on what's the next step to get to where you want to go, instead of trying to prove yourself to other people, trying to make the situation controlled, aka because you're probably a people pleaser. You're going to have to let people sit in their own sauce and let them spiral in the own triggered sauce that they've made, while you sit and say, thank you so much, I love it. And eventually you become a power master of your own energy.